Hi everyone, my name is Matics and I'm in the house. I'm super excited that you could join me today because we're about to go on a math adventure. And I think a lot of you are tuning in from your classrooms, some of you are tuning in from home. One of the things that makes a math adventure super special is our math adventuring partner. Do you have a math adventurer partner there with you? Do you have a friend or a family member? Even one of your favorite toys can be a math adventurer partner, because really what a math adventurer partner does is it allows us to talk through our problems. If we have something that we can't quite understand or can't quite get past, or something that we really want, we need a new perspective, sometimes talking it out can really help. Now, my math adventurer partner is Carl. Carl, where did you go? I hear you, but I don't see you. Where? Do you guys see Curly Carl? Can you use your words to describe where he is? Because I can't see where you might be pointing. You say he's behind me. I don't see him. You said he's on the number 5. No, I don't think he's on the number 5. Oh, he's on one of the numbers on the wall behind me. He's on the number 5, is he? All right, let's see. 3, 4. Carl, what are you doing all the way up there? What are you doing? Let's get you down here. Oh, you were playing hide and seek. You were playing hide and seek. Well, I'm really sorry that I gave away your hiding spot. Who were you playing hide and seek with? You were playing with On Du Toit. Well, where did On Du Toit go? She was here a second ago. On Du Toit, where are you? What do you mean I'm never going to find you? I hear you, but I don't know where you've gone. Well, wait now. Carl, if you're hiding, and if On Du Toit is hiding, who's seeking? I think you guys are playing hide and go hide. Well, you're both hid very, very well. I think both of you win. Now, On Du Toit, can you come out, please? We have a lot of friends joining us here today. Would you like to come out and meet them? Where did you go? She's gone to get the number of the day. All right, come on back out when you have it. All right, you have your number of the day? You want to play a game. What kind of game? You want to play a guessing game. What kind of guessing game? How do we play? She says we have 5 questions. We can ask her 5 questions to guess what the number of the day is. Now, I think we had a little bit of a spoiler there at the beginning, but let's see if we can use some questions to understand, to get down to what number it is that On Du Toit is hiding in her little paws here. All right? Now, she's giving us a hint. She says it's less than 100. So, maybe this thing might be useful. Let's have a look. Now, we have 5 questions to figure out which of these 100 numbers On Du Toit is hiding. What kind of questions might we be able to ask? I think that's a really good idea. I think we should try and narrow it down a little bit first before we start guessing all willy-nilly. If we start guessing, oh, it's 26, is it 46, is it 53? We're going to run out of guesses pretty quick, aren't we? So let's try and narrow it down. Let's be strategic. So, did I hear someone say that we should try and cut it in half first? I think that's a great idea. On Du Toit, is the number less than 50? It's less than 50. All right, so we've just cut half of those numbers off. So, maybe we can try and narrow it down even further. On Du Toit. Oh, that's a good question, Carl. Let's ask her that one. On Du Toit, is it more than 20? No, it is not more than 20, which means it's less than 20. So we've narrowed it down to these 2 rows here. from 1 to 20. And we have 3 questions left. What question should we ask next? Well, that's a really good one. We should ask if it's odd or even. That'll cut it in half, won't it? Regardless what the answer is. That's a great one. Good idea. Un, deux, trois is the number, an even number. If it's not even, that means it must be odd. So we've narrowed it down to a couple of numbers. It could be 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, or 19. Now, we still have a pile of numbers for us to choose from. I wonder how we can narrow it down even further. I have an idea. Un, deux, trois. Can I find the number on a standard 6-sided dice? She's thinking about it. It's on the dice. So that means it must be, if it's an odd number and it's on the dice, it must be either a 1, a 3, or a 5. Now we've narrowed it down to 3 possibilities. And we only have 1 question left before we have to guess what number it is. What question could we ask? If the number of the day is our age, are we old enough to go to school? That's a really good one. And I really like that one. That's a really great question. Can I ask her that one? I'm going to ask her that one. Un, deux, trois is the number of the day in your name. It's not in her name. That means it's not un or 1. Deux, we know it wasn't 2 because that's an even number. We know it's not trois because that's in her name, or 3. 4 was not in her name anyway. Well, un, deux, trois, quatre is in her name, but it's an even number. So we know it wasn't that one, which means it must be le numéro 5, which is the number 5. That's the only number left. Un, deux, trois is the number of the day 5. Oh, she's so excited we guessed it. Now, I think we had a bit of a sneak peek at it as she was sat down there before she started playing hide and seek. But those were some really great questions. I'm really excited. That was a really fun game, Un, deux, trois. Thank you very much for sharing that with us. Would you like to have a seat now in your back in your seat of honor? All right, let's lay you back down. You keep the number of the day nice and safe as I sit you back over here. I'm going to put our number chart back up here, our hundreds chart. And let's see what we can do with the number of the day, the number 5. What comes to mind when you think of the number of the day? When you think of the number 5? That's a good one. It is certainly on our dice, and it looks like this. That's a familiar pattern. If you've played many games, we recognize that pattern there. Let's see. We have... That's a good one, Carl. Carl, but you don't have hands. That doesn't matter. It's still a great idea. Carl, we have 5 fingers on our hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I think that means I have 5 on my other hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I have a really great one. I have 5 toes on my foot. And I'll show... Never mind. I'll do you a favor and leave my stinky toes down there. But you're going to have to trust me. There's 5 toes on my foot. That's a really great one. If you are around your school, you may see signs that look like this. It's a school zone sign, and it is a pentagon, which means it has 5 sides. Usually when you hear the word penta or the sound penta at the beginning of something, it means 5. If you play music, you may have heard of a pentatonic scale, which means it has 5 notes in it. So the word penta, like a pentagon, means it has 5 sides. Let's count them together. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides. Fantastic. All right. Do you have any more? You're 5 years old? That's fantastic. Congratulations. Your age is the number of the day. This is a very special number of the day for you, isn't it? And that's a really interesting one. You said we can use the number 5 for skip counting. Well, let's have a look. Let's see. If we go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70. Wow, that's a lot of fun. It almost turns into a bit of a song, doesn't it? Carl, do you want to sing a song? We sing a song with the kids. It's more of a counting rap than a song. All right, so let's do it. Ready? Ready, set, here we go. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. You guys want to join in? Let's do it back and forth. I'll start with the 5. You say 10. I'll say 15. You say 20. Okay? Here we go. Ready, set, here we go. 5, 15, 25, 35, 45, 55. Were you singing along? That was so much fun. Let's switch it now. I'll do the 10s, you do the 5s, which means you are going to start with 5 and I'll do 10. Here we go. Ready, set, here we go. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. We could keep going. Man, 5 is really a rockin' number. But you know what? I think whenever I think of the number 5, I always picture this little dot pattern here. Or sometimes I picture a 10 frame with only the top row filled out. And now that I have this dice in my hand, On Du Toit and Curly Carl seem to be in a very playful mood. I wonder what kind of games we can... I said it. Our math adventure is about to begin. We are about to put on our Notice and Wonder goggles. You don't know what Notice and Wonder goggles are? Well, they can be anything that allow you to look at the world around you in interesting ways and notice interesting things and ask really interesting questions. They can be your hands. They can be toilet paper tubes. They can even be made out of... Oh, these ones have magnets on them and they're stuck to something over here. They can even be made out of pentagons, which is a great one for today. Today is the number of the day is 5. And we just talked about pentagons, didn't we? So, here's what I want to look at. We're going to take up our whiteboard here. And Carl, I'm going to lay you down on the whiteboard too, because I know you're really good at coming up with really fun games. And I know the kids at home are too. Now, I found these... Whoa, they're getting away from me. I found these little counters or checkers, or I think they may have even come out of a Connect 4. I don't think we want the pocket lint. We don't want to play with that. But maybe you guys have something like this at home. Maybe you have some pennies or some nickels or some washers or even pieces from a board game like checkers that we can, we can do all sorts of things. And this is what we're going to try and notice and wonder today. What can we figure out? What do we notice and wonder about these counters? Well, Carl, you said that there are different colors. I wonder if they need to be different teams or if they can all be on the same team. Well, that's a good one. There's a lot here. Maybe too much for us to count right away, but there might be some interesting ways for us to count them a little bit more quickly. I wonder if we can estimate how many are there. Let's see. I wonder what number would be way too big for us to guess as to how many are here. If I were to guess how many are here, I wonder what number would be way too big. Well, let's have a look. Let's count out 5. And did that put a big dent in it? Whoop, you can't see that. There. Let's move everything back a little bit. Here we go. I counted out 5. And it did take a few out of them. So I think if I did that 10 times, I think I would run out pretty quick. So I think 50 might be too much. So I think there's less than 50 counters here. What's a number that you think would be too small? You say 10? Why 10? Because if we took out another group of 5, we would still have tons left over, wouldn't we? That's right. So if we take out 10... well, we still have tons left over. Let's get this pocket lint out of here. Well, how many do you think are there? Can you estimate how many counters are here? You think there's about 20? I hear someone say 30. Somebody out there is splitting the difference and saying 25. let's see if the number of the day can help us figure out how many are here. So we've got 2 groups of 5 already. There's our 3rd group of 5. There's a 4th group of 5. And then we have a couple left over. So let's use our skip counting rack to figure out how many we have here now. 5, 10, 15, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 counters. Now, that's a really interesting question too. I wonder if there's equal amounts of red and yellow. Well, let's break this off into 2 equal groups. We're going to split up our 2 groups of 10. We're going to share our leftovers amongst the groups. And let's swap these 2 reds with these 2 reds. Or these 2 yellows, rather. Let's swap this yellow for this red. Let's swap this yellow for this red. And let's do one more. Whoop, wrong one. There we go. Whoops, and you can't see those again. Let's get this down. So do we have equal numbers of yellow and red? Let's see, we've got 5, 10, 11, 12. We have 12 yellows. And we've got 5, 10, 11, 12. 12 red. Well, we have equal numbers of both colors. And, oh, Carl is noticing something else. Carl, I think it sounds like you have an idea. You want to use this paper over here to make a game. You want to play counter cover-up, don't you? What a great idea. Okay, so here's how we play counter cover-up. When you're not looking, I'm going to hide a certain number of these counters. I'm going to lump them all together. I'm going to shuffle them up. I'm going to shuffle them up. And then I'm going to hide some of them. And because we know that there's 24 of them here, you've got to figure out how many I have hidden. All right? So let's play counter cover-up. No peeking. All right. All right. I think I have it. So let me get my marker. How many did we have when we started? We had 24, right? We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is 10. Another group of 5 is 15. Another group of 5 is 20. And then we had 4 left over at the bottom. So 5, 10, 15, 24. Now, how many do we have here? Well, we have 2 and 4. That means we have 4 here, plus how many equals, excuse me, Carl, 24. Well, what strategies could we use? Talk to your math adventurer partner, whether it be your family member, a friend in your classroom, or even your favorite toy. I want you to talk about a strategy with your partner, your math adventurer partner. Figure out how many's under here. Have you got it? Wow, that was fast. You can take your time. How many's under here? Well, Carl has a really great idea. He said we just need to read the number. Really? We just need to read the number. 24, 24, 20, and 4. I see what you're doing, Carl. I see what you're doing. You're saying that 20 is made up of 20 and 4. And even if we think about crossing off these 4 here, which are the same 4 over here, how many should we have left? 5, 10, 15, 20. So Carl is guessing 20. Let's see if he's right. You ready? Did you guess 20 as well? Let's see. We've got one group of 5. We've got 2 groups of 5. Let me put this down here so I can work it a little bit easier. We've got 3 groups of 5, and we have 4 groups of 5. 5, 10, 15, 20. Good job, everyone. Fantastic. You want to play another round? This one's going to be a little bit more challenging. All right, let me erase. Where'd my eraser go? Let me erase some of these numbers here. And let me get another one set up here for you. Let's see. I am going to do how many? Here we go. All right. I got you this time. I'm going to get you this time. Here we go. Now we cover it up. Now, Carl, no peeking, Carl. Gosh. Now, how many counters are underneath the piece of paper? Well, we know, again, we have 24 to start with. 1, 2, 3, 4. And how many do we have over here? Again, we can use our number of the day to help us count. So we have 5. And we have not quite a full row. We have a full... Do you guys know what a 10 frame is? It's 2 groups of 5, which makes 10. So we almost have a full 10 frame here, but we're missing one. So that means we have 9. I'm writing upside down. I hope that's coming across as a good-looking 9. 5 and 4 is 9. So that means how many do we have over here? Let me see. Well, if we have a group of 5, well, we can cross off that group of 5. That's already accounted for. And we have 4 more here. Well, that's our group here. So that means we have how many under the piece of paper? Let's count. 5, 10, 15. Do you think there's 15 under here? Shout out, math is awesome if you think there's 15 in there. Oh, I think we've got full agreement across the board there. Let's have a look. Have we got 15? Indeed we do. Now, I didn't even have to count to know that there was 15. Did you? You didn't. Why? Because you skip counted. Excellent job. 5, 10, 15. There is 15 counters hidden under the piece of paper. All right, I'm going to get you this time for sure. This is a fun game, Carl. I'm having a lot of fun. Are you guys having fun? I'm having a blast. Let me clean up my counters here, and let's see. What are we going to do this time? I am going to... Let's see. All right. I'm gonna throw a curveball at you here this time. Have I got this set up properly? Let me just double check. It would be embarrassing if Matics made a mistake live in Ottawa Catholic. I would be so embarrassed. So, let's see what we got. But you know what? Mistakes are awesome. Mistakes are not the end of the world. Mistakes are a great opportunity for us to learn. So, we know we have 24. And I erased the ones that I was drawing on earlier. So, let's draw them back. That's 20. And 1, 2, 3, 4 are left. How many do we have here? Kind of looks like a full 10 frame, doesn't it? But if you look carefully, what do you notice? It's not full groups of 5, is it? We actually have 2 groups of 4. So we can skip count by other numbers, right? So let's skip count by 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8. There's an 8 right here. And if we think about over here, when we see our 24, as we've been doing, we took our 8 and we got rid of them over here. We said, well, if we have 8 here, we know that there's 8 already accounted for. So let's cross off our 2, 4, 6, 8 counters, which means, how many do we have left? I can't see you. Oh, how many do we have left? Well, let's have a look. We've got 5, 10, 15, 16. One left over. So that means there's 16 counters hidden in here, but I don't know how many are under the yellow one and how many are under the blue one. Well, there could be 16 underneath this one. Let's get some other counters here. Let's see what we can do. If we got 16 here, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Oh, I have too many. 17. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. We have 16 here. You can count these however you like. I went a little bit randomly there with my groups of 2. I saw 2, 4, 6. I saw these as 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Now, so it could be 16 and 0. I could have nothing under this one, right? We know that there's 16 missing, but we also know that there's 2 numbers. So, what else? What other combinations can you come up with? What other combinations of numbers could be underneath these pieces of paper? That's a good one. We could be 15 and 1. Absolutely. Or it could be, I heard somebody say, it could be 14 and 2. Absolutely. Let's organize these a bit better so we see our 10 frame. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. These things stick together a little bit. They're a little bit clumsy. Let's get them together. And then we have 4 more here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we could keep switching them, hey? We could keep moving them down. So we have 13 and 3. We have 12 and 4. But let me give you a hint. Let me give you a hint. It would be kind of mean for me to not just pick random numbers to go under there. So let me give you a hint. There's equal numbers under each piece of paper. So let's see if we can use that information to figure out exactly how many counters are underneath these pieces of paper. Well, we want to... Yeah, absolutely. We can keep doing this until they're equally distributed, until each piece of paper has the same amount. So we have 12 and 4. That's 5 and 6. Let's put up our 10 frame here so we can see it. Let's put up our groups of 5. And we'll keep going. So now we have 7 and 9. And now we have 8 and 8. Do you think there are 8 counters underneath each one? They seem to be evenly distributed there now, don't they? Well, let's find out. Let's uncover one. Let's uncover the other. And it looks like, yes, indeed, there is 8 here and 8 here. How did you count 8? I hear somebody saw that these were 5 yellows and 3 reds. Absolutely. Same thing down here. They saw 4 yellows and 4 reds. That's a great way to count 8. Gosh, there's so much math, so much to be curious about as we're playing different games. There's so many different things that we can notice and wonder, and I love all of the different ways that we can count to the number 8 or to the number 5 or to the number 24. Gosh, it sure is a lot of fun to play this type of game, isn't it? I almost feel like a lockpick. I almost feel like a code breaker. And that reminds me, I think I know somebody who would have a wonderful time with this type of game. His name is Robbie Be Good. And I think Zorbit, Zoe, and Serena are visiting him right now. So let's have a quick look on the planet Medivia. Let's go for a visit. So here we are on the planet Medivia. We're going to hop in here. This is a bit of a Renaissance Dungeons and Dragons, knights and castles and princes and princesses type of land. And we're going to meet Robbie Be Good, who's on an adventure to save Prince Trevor from an allegedly fearsome dragon. Oh, always blast them asteroids. Oh, I missed them. Oh, gosh. It's a good thing they didn't crash into them.
I have installed some booby traps against any unwanted dragons. Hopefully they work.
Oh, look! Watch out! Oh!
Apparently they do.
Let's find the right gears to set Robbie free from this trap.
All right. So, looks like we have to fill in some blanks here to figure out or to make this equation equal. Well, let's get a little marker here. Let's grab our pencil, and over here we have 1, and over here we have none. So what numbers do you think we could use to fill in the blanks here? If we were to use 5 on one side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, how many would we need on this side? Well, we would need an extra 1, 2, 3, 4. So do you think if we put a 4 in on one side and a 5 in on the other, do you think this will work? I don't know. Let's see. We did it! All right. Let's get rid of some of those counters and let's get back into the game here. All right. So now we have, again, we have 1 on this side. So what can we put in these two numbers, in these two blanks, so that they just add up to 1? Well, gosh, I feel like one of them needs to be 0 because we can't have two numbers that add up to 1 unless one of them is a 0. So let's try and drop that in there. And then we need a 1, don't we? Well, let's see if that balances out. Well, it should. It reads the exact same. 0 plus 1 equals 0 plus 1.
Nice.
Oh, now this is going to be an interesting one. Let's grab our pencil again, and let's say we have 1. Oh, let's see. Get rid of that dot over there. Let's get rid of that. 1, 2, 3. And we have 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, we have 3 blanks here, which means altogether, if we take these 3 and bring them over, we'll have 10. So we need two numbers from down here that add up to equal 10. 2 and 0, I don't think that adds up to 10. What ones do you think we should use? You think we should use the 9 and the 1. Well, let's see if you're right. 9 and 1. All right. I think 2 more and we'll have Robbie Be Good free from his own dragon trap. So let's see. Ooh, this one is going to be interesting because we have a blank on each side now and numbers on each side. So if we have 1, 2 on one side and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the other. Whew, well, this is a tricky one. Why don't you talk to your... Oh, I'm dropping my counters. Why don't you talk to your math adventure partner and see what numbers you can come up with that will make these two sides equal? While you're doing that, I'm going to talk to Carl on my side. He's my math adventurer partner. Well, let's see, Carl. Yeah, so we've got 4 spaces left in this 10 frame over here that we're lining up. And there's 8 spaces missing over here. I wonder if that's going to be helpful. Well, if we use 11 and 12, I don't think they're far enough apart to fill in that difference. How many more do we have over here? We have 2. We have 4 more over here, which means this number needs to be 4 numbers smaller than this one over. Carl, that's a great idea. Let's try the 8 over here. And what does that do for us? What does that come out to be? Let me grab my pen again. And if we add another 8, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, let's see. We've got 5, 10, and 4 more is 14. How many do we need over here to make 14? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Do we have the... We do have the number 12 down here. Carl, you are an awesome math explorer and an awesome math adventurer partner. Fantastic job. Let's get you up there. All right. I think we have one more to do and he's going to be free. Well, this is an interesting one. I feel like... What do you notice and wonder about this one? Well, they have the same numbers on both sides, which means we need to add the same number to those blanks. Do we have a pair of numbers down below here? We have a 7 and a 7, which if we're using our 10 frame should be, let's just draw one out here because we know they're going to be the same. 1, 2, which was left over, or already there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, we've made 9, and the same is going to be true on that side. Let's let Robbie Be Good out of his cage.
Free at last.
Free at last!
I trained you well.
You trained us well.
Fantastic.
Great job, everybody. Did you have fun on Medivia with Robbie Be Good and Zorbit? I sure did. And I had an awesome time on our math adventure today. I'm really glad you guys could join us today. We talked about the number 5 and we used it to do a lot of skip counting. That was a lot of fun. We solved some equations by filling in the blanks, and we used counters and our skip counting strategies to help us figure out how many we're missing. And then we helped Robbie escape from his own traps by helping him solve his equations using those same methods. Now, before we go, there's one last thing I want to ask you to do, okay? If your teachers and your parents are comfortable with it, what I would like for you to do, On Du Toit found out that we were having some guests today, and she wanted to take a picture with all of you. So, if you could, go up to the screen or up to the smart board or the projector, or even just if you're watching on your laptop or your devices at home, I want to get you up in front of the camera and I want to take a picture with you guys. I want your teacher to take a picture with the 3 of us. So we're going to pose, and on the count of 3, we're all going to say cheese, and we're going to take a picture, okay? So I'll give you a second to all get organized and up into the front of the class, or to find your camera or yell out, "Mom! Matics wants us to take a picture!" And when you have the picture, I'd love for you to share it with us on social media, on Twitter, with hashtag Zorbits Challenge, okay? And again, only if your teacher and your parents are okay with that. So share it on Twitter, and on the count of 3, here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. No, not you, On Du Toit. Let's try that again. 1, 2, 3. Cheese! All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, everyone. I had an amazing time, and I can't wait to hear all about your math adventures. And if you want to play Counter Cover-Up at home, you can. Just ask your teacher to go into their Zorbits dashboard and grab Counter Cover-Up. And if you want to play the games, you can go into play.zorbitsmath.com, log in, and you'll find that same activity that we were just playing on the planet Medivia. So thank you again, everyone, for tuning in today. I had a great time, and I hope you did too, and I will see you again really, really soon on our next math adventure. So long for now.